Hey guys, I have two brand new plushies to review. We have both Mabel and Dipper Pines from Gravity Falls. So if you saw my plush review on the Ford plush, I mentioned that San Diego Comic-Con had some exclusive Gravity Falls merchandise, being a 18-inch Dipper and Mabel plush, and a 4-pack of 6-inch plushies being Dipper, Mabel, Bill Cipher, and Waddles. And recently on eBay, I saw a seller was selling these plushies separately for $15. And with all four of them being around the same price, it totaled up to being $60, which at Comic-Con, the original price for the 4-pack set was about $60. So that's a really good deal. It's a lot better than like the $100 I've seen on eBay or Mercari. It's really insane. Especially the Jumbo Dipper and Mabel plush, I've seen them going for $80 to $70 on eBay, and that is way too overpriced. Especially since the Jumbo plushies, the original retail price at Comic-Con was about $30. Anyways, enough talking about pricing. For now, I'm going to be reviewing both Dipper and Mabel. I did order both Bill Cipher and Waddles. They should be coming in the mail anytime soon. I will add them towards the end of the video. But for now, let me review the packaging first. So here's a closer look at the packaging. They all say Gravity Falls with the name of the character that is in the packaging. And with both of them, they have the public domain mouse right here. And here's a closer look at the brand that made the plushies, being Just Play. Now then, with that out of the way, I am going to unbox these plushies right now, and I will start reviewing Mabel. And alas, here they both are out of the packaging. Here's a closer look at the side tag. It says Gravity Falls. Here is the inside of the tag. Here's a look at the side tag. It also says Gravity Falls and copyright of Disney. These plushies are genuinely really soft. I really love the high quality fabric that they are using. The eyes on the plush is embroidered, and the nose is a plastic button that's wrapped in plush fabric, and the teeth and braces are also embroidered. The little cheeks on Mabel, they are printed on details, which I would normally complain or nitpick, but honestly, the printing isn't bad. It's really high quality. However, the little star emblem on her sweater is a overlay material, and it's basically just a sticker that could easily crack, and I kind of wish that it was embroidered to the plush or a whole separate piece of fabric that was stitched onto the plushie. I really do love the sleeves on the sweater. It just overall is really larger compared to the arm, and it's pretty accurate to the character design in the show. Here's a look at the back of the plush and a look at Mabel's hair. It's really soft, and it doesn't have a whole lot of stuffing in the hair, which I really like. I like it whenever plushies with long hair like this, they're not overstuffed. Because in my opinion, if the hair was stuffed, it would just look unnatural in my opinion. And the hair on the plushie honestly kind of reminds me of the Sine Fire Emblem plushies like Corrin and Lucina for their hair, because it's really long and it doesn't have any stuffing inside. And it just makes the hair look more natural. And if it was stuffed, it would just look kind of weird in my opinion. And back to the side tag, I just realized that the names of the character is on the back, which is pretty cool. Back on the topic of the hair, she does have a tiny piece of hair right here. It's just two tiny pieces of plush fabric. And I think the headband on the Mabel plush for mine is a little wonky, but it could honestly just be an error with my plush. Here is the front of the plush. Here is the side. Here's the back. And here is the other side. This is overall a really great plushie of Mabel, and there is some other plushies of Mabel that do exist. Like Jazzwares, for an example, they've made Mabel, Waddles, and a Barfing Gnome plushie, I believe. They never made Dipper or any of the other characters from the show, which I kind of find odd that they only made Mabel, but she is a cool character nonetheless. I just think it's a little bit odd that they didn't make Dipper. And speaking of Dipper, let's go on ahead and review him. So here is a closer look at Dipper, and unfortunately, Dipper is the most expensive plush I've seen going on eBay and Mercari, because this is technically the first Dipper plush that exists. Like, Zag Toys, the company who've made some Steven Universe plushies and some Hello Neighbor plushies, they were originally going to make some Gravity Falls merchandise, including plushies. They were originally going to make the entirety of the main cast, like Dipper, Mabel, Stan, Ford, Wendy, Seuss, even Bill Cipher, but for some reason the merchandise just got cancelled. But nonetheless, this Dipper plush is really good, especially for this being the first official plush of the character. Here's a little closer look at the pine tree on the hat. Here's a closer look at the face. He has the same amount of detail as Mabel, with the embroidery in the eyes, eyebrows, and mouth, and he has a button nose that's wrapped around cloth. The nose is made out of nylon, while the Mabel plush is just normal plush fabric. The vest that Dipper is wearing is stitched onto the plush, so you can't remove it. But honestly, if you want, you could technically cut the little threads right here to remove the vest, but I personally wouldn't do that. I really love the vest on the plush. It's 2 thick pieces of plush fabric, and it looks really nice. Here is a closer look at his tag. It's the same as Mabel, but the back of the tag says his name. Here's a closer look at Dipper's hair. It's the same as Mabel, except his is a little bit shorter. Here is a better look at the tush tag, and here's the inside of the tush tag. Here's a more closer look at the hat. And on top of the hat is a little button that's wrapped around some fabric. And I'm really surprised that the brim of the hat doesn't fold upward like most plushies with a cap. They usually tend to always just fold up, but for this plushie it's honestly pretty stable. The shoes on both Dipper and Mabel use essentially the same fabric, being nylon. Dipper does have some extra details on the socks with a little red piece of thread. Here's the front. Here is the side. Here is the back. And here is the other side. So here are both Dipper and Mabel. Overall, really high quality plushies. And like I said, I am expecting both Bill Cipher and Waddles to come in the mail soon. I will add them into this video. I really wish that these plushies could be released in actual retail stores, because these are honestly really high quality products. And it's been a really long time since we had some proper Gravity Falls merchandise. I really think it'd be nice to see some of these merchandise from San Diego Comic-Con to release in stores, so that way people who couldn't attend Comic-Con don't have to resort to buying them on eBay. But if you do intend on buying these plushies on eBay or Mercari, be careful when you buy the Mabel plush, because I've seen bootlegs of this specific plush recently. I haven't seen any bootlegs yet of Dipper, Bill Cipher, or Waddles that's based off of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. Because I know for a fact that the Waddles plush from Jazzwares has a bootleg plush that exists, but I haven't seen any that's based off of the plushie that was sold at Comic-Con. But anyways, that's enough of me rambling. I will jump cut to whenever I get either Bill or Waddles in the mail. So after I finished reviewing Dipper, I just got Waddles in the mail. Here is a look at the bag. It has Waddles' name and Disney and Gravity Falls at the top. It's basically the same with Dipper, Mabel, and the Bill Cipher plush, I'd assume, where all the characters just have their name at the back of the bag, and the Gravity Falls logo at the back as well. And here is Waddles out of the packaging. Here is Waddles next to Mabel. The size comparison for both Mabel and Waddles is pretty good. It's just, it's kind of hard for Mabel to stand since the legs of the plush are kind of in a ragdoll position so that she can sit. And same can be said for Dipper. It's just the way the legs are stitched to the body makes them have a sitting position. However, with the Waddles plush, he is in a permanent sitting position. However, sometimes he has a problem sitting, which is something I should mention, that I feel like these plushies would benefit a lot if they had plastic beans in the bottom so that they can sit more properly. But if you lean them against something, then they can sit perfectly. And they can sit perfectly fine without anything at the back. It just takes a lot of time and patience to get them in a good position for them to sit. I will say this, I feel like the Waddles plush out of the 4 has the most quality control issue. Like, it's still a really great high quality plush. It's just, I feel like with most pictures I've seen of this plushie in particular, they usually have the snout a little crooked, like mine, unfortunately. And I feel like the ears are a little bit small. I feel like that they would benefit if they were a little bit bigger and possibly a little bit more stuffed. But other than that, the design of this plush is really phenomenal. And they did a fantastic job on replicating Waddles in a plush design. I also really love the fabric on this plush. He's really soft and squishy. The little spots on Waddles is unfortunately printing, which isn't bad. However, the Jazzwares Waddles plush doesn't use any printing at all, and most of the spots on the Jazzware plush is stitched onto the plushie. The plush arguably does have some flaws, but unfortunately, I have to say this is probably the weakest plush within the set. It's not a bad product though. I just personally think that they could have improved on some things with this plushie. Because like I said, I really love the pattern on this plush, and the tail is a little pigtail and it's kind of stretchy, which is really cool. I do really love this plush, but if you really do want a more high quality Waddles plush, I would recommend getting the Jazzwares plush. I believe it's still easy to find on eBay or Mercari, and even the Mystery Shack website, I believe, has this plushie, well, the Jazzwares plush of him at least, on their website. However, if you do want the Jazzwares Waddles plush over this one, then be careful with the Jazzwares Waddles plush because there are bootlegs of that one. I have no idea when the Jazzwares Waddles plush was bootlegged. I just seen photos of cheap knockoff versions of the Jazzwares plush. So it just looks like these two plushies have been bootlegged. I mean, albeit the bootleg Mabel plush is based off of the Just Play plushie, which is this one, and the Waddles plush bootleg is based off of the one from Jazzwares. I should probably mention the side tag now. Here's a look at it, and it has his name right here. And here is a closer look at the tush tag. Mine is a little creased, but that's just because of the packaging. Here is the front of the Waddles plush. Here is the side. Here is the back. And here's the other side. Regardless of the quality control with the Waddles plush, I will say this, if you buy these plushies separately, alone, they look fantastic, but as a set, I do think they look really great all together, which, I mean, it's kind of intended since these were originally sold as a set. I just mostly had to end up buying these separately because there's a lot of people on eBay who are trying to sell the whole set for a lot of money. But with that out of the way, the last plush I am missing now is Cipher, and he should be coming in the mail very soon, and I will probably just cut to whenever I get him in the mail. I finally got Bill in the mail, so here is a look at the bag. It's the same as both Dipper and Mabel, and here he is out of the packaging. My Bill Cipher plush has a little factory error. His tag is upside down, which it's kind of fitting for Bill, to be honest. However, the side tag is safe. It has his name right here, and it's essentially the same as all the other plushies within the set. I've said this with every single character within the set, but this plush is really good. The arms and legs are really soft, and they don't have a whole lot of stuffing in them. The bow tie is a really thick piece of felt that is stitched onto the body. I really love how the brick patterns on Bill is actually embroidered to the plush. I know that there is a existing Bill plushie on the Mystery Shack website, and that plush has a overlay detail for the brick patterns. This is overall a really nice plush of Bill. The only real complaint I have to say is that I feel like they could have stuffed him a little bit more, especially towards the top right here, because it's a little understuffed. And I do think every other Bill Cipher plush within this set has that same issue where they're a bit understuffed. And since Bill is essentially the shape of a Dorito, or a triangle, he can sit, like, really well. So here's a closer look at the top hat. The brim of the hat is a thick piece of felt, while the rest of the hat is just plush fabric. Here's a closer look at the eye of Bill. It's embroidered to the plushie, and the eye is just plush fabric. The hands on the plush are stitched to the body, and like I said with the vest on Dipper, you could technically cut these little pieces of thread right here, but I advise not to. The Bill Cipher plush within the set is very, very light. You could easily throw him. I just still can't get over the fact that the tag is like completely upside down. And what's even crazier is that it's just this tag alone. Like, the barcode is completely fine, and same with the instructions on the hand washing and air drying. It's completely fine. It's just this specific tag right here that's upside down. Anyways, here's a size comparison of Bill to Dipper, to Mabel, and to Waddles. Here's the front of the plush. Here's the side. Here's the back. And here's the other side. And here's a quick comparison of the Ford plush I bought from the Mystery Shack to Dipper, to Mabel, to Bill Cipher, and to Waddles. And so here is every single Gravity Falls plush I currently own. I really do want to get the Stan plush from the Mystery Shack website. Unfortunately, the Stan plush is sold out, but they are planning to restock him in the fall. Same goes with the Ford plush, so if you want to get him, you can get him on the Mystery Shack website. And I really do hope some other company will make some of the other characters within the show, like Seuss, Wendy, Gideon, Robbie, Pacifica, or just any other character. But with that out of the way, here's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Gravity Falls plushies made by Just Play. If you can find your favorite characters separately, then I would recommend buying them if it's for a reasonable price. And I really do hope that these plushies can be easily affordable within retailers eventually. I'm just not sure if that's even possible. I'm just glad I found these plushies separately for $15, which in total was about $60, which, again, not a bad price for these 4 plushies since the original price at Comic-Con was $60. But if you really just want Dipper or Mabel, then I would try to get the Jumbo plushies if you would like to get a Jumbo plush. There are definitely cheaper versions for both Mabel, Waddles, and even Bill Cipher. You can easily get the Jazzwares Mabel and Waddles plush, and there is an official Bill Cipher plush on the Mystery Shack website, but unfortunately that one is sold out as well. But I believe, like I said, with the Stan and Ford plush, they will be restocking them in the fall. But with that out of the way, here's the final review on the Gravity Falls plushies that was sold at San Diego Comic-Con.